Hey guys, Merrick Matter here.
And I'm Gio.
And welcome to a new episode of Mindbreakers.
And my mind is basically already pre-blown. I'm like looking at the subtitle of this fucking movie.
It's Sword of the Valiant. It's
Sword of the Valiant, The Legend of Sir
Gawain.
Yes, Sir Gawain, and the Green Knight. With Sean Connery as the Green Knight.
Okay.
I'd like to... No, because I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to be part of the subtitle, which it's not. I would love to imagine with Sean Connery as the Green Knight being part of the subtitle.
Would you like me to explain that, though?
Yes.
There is a poem. There's a medieval poem tied into the Arthur legend called Sir Gawain and the Green Knight.
Alright.
This is based on this.
Yeah. I've heard of it before.
Loosely.
Okay.
Really fucking loosely. This movie was an impulse buy for me.
Okay.
Because I was in the used movie store and was like, hey...
As are most of the movies in my collection.
I was like, hey... I eliminated most of the words from my thinking. I just saw sword, Sean Connery. I'm buying this. $6. And I regret that's money not well spent.
You had too much of a Highlander boner that day.
So not even. I don't like him that much in Highlander. Just other films like The Untouchables. So
this is speaking to my Highlander boner. Right
we're gonna watch this.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back if Gio's still alive. See you then.
The field of honor. A knight's courage is put to the test. Miles O'Keefe is Sir Gawain, the greatest knight of all. His strength equaled by none. Sir Gawain's power is supreme until now. Sean Connery is the mysterious Green Knight.
All I seek is good sport.
Trevor Howard is the king.
I shall have some proof tonight that knightliness still lives within these walls.
My liege, give me the axe.
I give you a year's grace to grow your beard.
Sean Connery throws down the gauntlet of challenge. Sir Gawain accepts and sets out on a dangerous adventure, marked by combat and the promise of death. Only his courage as a knight can save him. Cyrielle Clare is the beautiful brunette.
Gawain, help! I've always loved you.
Ronald Lacey is the evil Oswald. She's mine. His lust for wealth and power is surpassed only by his brutality. His fiery passions engulf all. Peter Cushing is the cunning seneschal.
Are you bold enough to cross your father?
The lands are mine!
John Rhys Davies is the Baron Fortinbras. Lee Lawson is Humphrey, loyal only to Sir Gawain.
You're not playing my game, Gawain. You have a ring, and it does not belong to you.
Fighting the forces of magic and sorcery, Sir Gawain is faced with unearthly dangers. He is challenged by all, defeated by none.
A remarkable man.
Fighting the treachery around him.
Leave the wretch to his miserable end.
Always courageous.
Forward into battle!
Always victorious.
Tomorrow I ride out to meet the Green Knight.
The ultimate challenge awaits him.
We have an appointment at the Green Chapel before the sun goes down.
You've had your cut. The game is over.
I make the rules, boy! I make the rules!
Sean Connery and Miles O'Keefe in Sword of the Valiant, an epic tale of a legendary knight, a knight called Sir Gawain.
Well, we just saw Sword of the Valiant.
And my mind has exploded.
His mind has indeed exploded. I had to clean it up. Very messy.
That was a fucking movie and a half.
So it starts out, and it's clear from the get-go that these are a bunch of companies and actors that we're never going to see again.
Never. We're never going to see these people ever again.
We see some blacksmiths working on a sword. No special sword. Just it's not like in Conan where they're making the Atlantean sword. No, it's just a sword. Yeah. And then we meet our protag, Gawain.
fucking
For the
good.
purposes of this video, we are going to call He-Man.
He is fucking He-Man.
He has
He
the
looks
hair.
like He-Man. He has the
face,
haircut.
He has the muscles.
He's fucking He-Man.
And-
Okay?
He's He-Man.
He is He-Man to the T. He apparently is just... Like, he's basically... He's not like He-Man, though. He's not as strong as He-Man.
No,
way
not
in
at
hell.
all.
Not at fucking all. He fucks up so hard.
But
in this.
we'll get to that.
He is a fuck up. He is a person.
So we start out at like I think it's I know that in the actual medieval poem that it's based on barely that the feast is around Christmas.
Yeah.
So they have the feast and King Arthur's like, none of you get what? Okay, so we found out what Miles O'Keefe is.
Yeah,
He's basically
I recognized his name on this movie.
He's like D-movie grade fantasy schlock. That's what
I recognized him from. I've watched The Blade Master. That's what I recognized his name from.
The Fighting Eagle,
apparently. But I recognized him from The Blade Master.
He's in Tarzan, but bless you, a lot of people have been.
A interpretation of Tarzan.
He's so the king who thank God they did not call this guy King Arthur.
Yeah,
because I have a lot of respect for the Arthurian legend. Yeah, and it's like they just call him the king, and he has his new fancy armor brought out as a gift, and the knights are getting fat and they're eating food and drinking. It's like, wait, no one should eat food or drink a drop of wine until they recount what deeds of chivalry they've done this year. And then no one has any. It's like, you're all bastards. These knights are in unacceptable condition!
Basically rides in on a horse into a fucking castle.
Yeah, but you didn't say who does. Then we meet the Green Knight. Sean fucking Connery. In full green armor. He actually looks like
the starter of shit.
You know what he looks like? Except the only difference is an axe instead of a hammer, but he looks like a young Robert Baratheon.
Oh god, he does.
He has the antler crown and everything.
He is the...
And he comes in, he's in green armor, covering all, except he has like the pauldrons and vambraces and things. He doesn't have gauntlets.
Yep.
But the thing is, he doesn't have a breastplate either. He has some dollar store fake leaves, and his manly hairy chest bared for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
He's also has
this massive hole in his chest.
He also has long, luxuriant hair.
Yep.
A thick beard, and he's sparkly.
And
he's sparkly.
He-Man, I've realized that this can just turn into just the biggest flaming homosexual in the matter of milliseconds.
He's got this axe that whistles like a theremin.
Yep.
And this is what I call this movie. He-Man versus the Ghost of Christmas Present. Because that's what it looks. So he dismounts. He's like, yes, anyone? I'd like to play a game. Anyone who has the balls, take my axe and cut my head off. But if I get up after, I get to cut your head off.
In kind, you must not flinch, as I will not flinch. He doesn't
I will
move
turn
an
the
inch.
blow in kind.
He just straight up takes an axe to his head and gets his head chopped off.
And then, oh my god! And then everyone, no one.
By his kid. No one
wants to do it.
Him.
And the king
for this artist.
And they get not it. But first, it's the king. It's like
first the king.
Well, if none of you have the balls to do it, fuck you! I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And as goes up, and Gwen's like, no, I'll do it. And so, you say all of you are shamed. This is my one true knight. I'm gonna knight him now.
Then knights him.
Now you're knighted.
Yep. Thanks for standing up to me, dude. Thanks for getting your head chopped off
he
for
kneels
me.
And gets his head, he chops Sean Connery's head off. Oh god! And then we get one of the worst effects I've ever seen.
Yep.
It's a puppet of his head that has a really bad mouth flaps because it could just it's like a fish.
It's an automated head
because they couldn't have just cut a hole in the set floor and have Sean Connery's actual head sticking up.
That would have been too easy.
Then he reattaches his head It's like, all right, now we'll take yours off. Oh, but wait, you're just a kid. I'll give you a year to grow a beard, and then I'll kill you. And then he leaves.
And then he rides off. And this whole movie, he gets maybe the maximum of a 5 o'clock shot. He never gets a beard. He's He-Man.
But the beard's beside the point.
But the beard's beside.
And the king's like, you go on your great... And before the night goes, he has a riddle. There's like, if you can solve this riddle within a year before I come to find you, I won't cut off your head. And he gives a riddle, which frankly is not a riddle. Well, life is gladness, emptiness. Well, life is darkness, fire. Where life is golden, sorrow. Where life is lost, wisdom. That's not a fucking riddle.
Yeah, and he just fucks off.
As okay.
After spewing this bullshit that helps nobody or hints at nothing.
And then the king's
he
like,
fucks off.
And the king's, well, good luck on your quest. Here, have my armor. And then it cuts to him just riding around with his squire Humphrey.
He gives him the shittiest armor.
That hasn't happened yet. And then we were just riding around with Humphrey, his squire, who's the best character in the movie.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's made of like tinfoil.
Essentially, yeah. Well, no, it has the density of tinfoil for sure.
And then they're riding, and then there's a pointless scene where it's like, you know, how does one relieve themselves in a suit of armor? We're like, well, you don't have to, because you don't ride around in the suit of armor.
You're not just supposed to be riding around 100% of the time in the fucking armor. That's what your squire's for, you retard.
They have this little, like, can opener, like, not a can opener, like, you know the key used to open Spam?
Essentially,
he has one of those
for his dick.
to get his dick out of his armor to piss.
But what I don't understand is how he closes it back up.
Neither do I. And then that scene happens, and it's just, well, that was pointless.
Luckily, the king gave him extra groin plates.
And then they're hungry, and then they find a unicorn.
They
chase the unicorn down. And
we're gonna eat this fucking unicorn. I wonder how unicorn meat tastes.
Well, it tastes like horse meat. Oh, good. Then it means it tastes good. I'm like,
horse skin, by the way.
I was like, wait.
Horse skin.
Oh, horse skin. I thought it was horse flesh.
No, I have this inside joke with a friend of mine. Horse skin. So horse skin. They track
down the unicorn, but it's a unicorn, so it's magic, and magic means bullshit that makes no sense in this film, and it just kind of teleports away because this unicorn is Nightcrawler,
basically.
And then they find a magic tent that just magicked in.
Yep.
And they go in, and food magically appears, and they eat it.
And then a woman shows up, and she looks like she's gonna bang them any second.
You had a theory. You had a theory about this movie.
I thought this movie was originally supposed to be a porno.
Because the acting
is just the fucking worst.
And everyone speaks like they're gonna tear their clothes off and start fucking any second.
Exactly. Like I swear to God, I'm surprised.
And then there is a sex scene, but it doesn't happen in the actual film. Where it's just like, I will tell you, I answer this riddle, and then you go to, and apparently this tent is the answer to where life is gladness, emptiness. I don't know. And
who the fuck does?
And this is character. I don't think the riddles are relevant, really.
It's not a riddle. It's just bullshit.
Apparently, this woman is Morgan. I hope it's not Morgan Le Fay, because this is an insult to that character.
Yeah.
And then it's like, hey, go to the doorway to Leoness. And then he'll join you when he's done basically fucking me.
Yep.
So they have sex off screen. They don't even do the close up, the dip down on the bed thing, and then the fade to black. No, just doesn't even mention it.
Just skips completely over that.
And then they're riding around a sea, and there's this big horn. They call it a trumpet, but that's not a fucking trumpet.
It's a fucking, it's like a massive blowhorn.
It's a war horn.
Okay, and it's over,
it's like Boromir's horn.
Yeah, and it's right over the water.
And
so he rides up on this thing, and he's like,
I'm gonna blow the horn. I'm blowing the horn, and a rainbow appears.
And he does
and then I lost it.
Me too. Oh my God. I expected the thing to just start raining Skittles.
and then just keeps blowing. He blows it 3 times like rainbow. Rainbow. It's like, what?
Over a horn. Yes. And then he lets go of the horn. He's like, okay, let's continue riding on. And then the Black Knight appears.
And he looks ridiculous. His armor's cool, but then he has the rest of the armor with the spike. That's cool. Then you like zoom up and you see his helmet with like big fans coming off the sides and a mustache sculpted mustache.
He looks like he came from he rode from hell itself. Like this guy kills demons for a living, basically. He fucking rides up on this kid and
it's like you.
And he throws down. He throws the gauntlet down.
The conversation is, you have trespassed upon Leoness. They haven't yet, though. So what do I have to do? You have to be killed. They're like, all right, I accept your challenge. And he takes off his gauntlet and throws it down. And then the Black Knight just starts laughing.
Just challenges this Black Knight to a duel at level 1.
At
level 0.
The Black Knight's voice. The Black Knight has robot voice.
He really
and he starts laughing. Ha ha ha.
He talks like this. What are you doing there, He-Man?
He takes his lance and he takes the gauntlet up, and then he takes it and he takes the gauntlet off, and then he crushes it. Your first thought, oh god, this guy is strong.
Like a tin can.
And this guy's fucking
And then
strong.
you're like, wait a second,
and
he's in shitty fucking ceremonial.
Then Humphrey's like, you realize, just telling Gawain this now.
Yeah.
I just realized that. Fuck Humphrey for telling him this now.
Yeah.
It's like, you realize the king's armor is purely ceremonial. He hasn't fought for years.
Yep. And even if he would have fought in this thing, he'd have gotten stabbed through the armor. This armor has the density of fucking aluminum foil.
But the fight, well, the Black Knight is on horseback.
Yeah.
Gawain is not, and he's missing a gauntlet now.
Yeah.
So he tries to sword fight him, but he gets disarmed immediately.
Oh, he gets his ass kicked.
And then
he tries.
Black Knight has
the Black Knight's on a he's on a horse and he has a lance.
And then Gawain whips out a flail and kind of Indiana Jones bullwhips at the lance.
And then he gets
he's getting dragged around the battlefield
by the Black Knight.
Help! Help me!
The thing is, he could have let go.
And then he gets smashed into a tree.
Yeah, he could have let go of this flail. He could just let go, and he would have been away from all this.
He could have,
but no, he hangs on until
he does manage to get the lance out of his heart, out of the Black Knight's hand. And then the Black Knight takes out a flail and actually knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yep. And then they get to a knife fight in a bog.
Oh, before they're actually sword fighting because somehow I can't remember how, but
they both lose their swords somehow.
Oh, right, because Gawain takes the jousting lance by the wrong end and then swings it like a baseball bat and knocks him off.
And then both of them lose their swords.
And then they're fighting. Swords. Well, they're fighting with swords, and then Gawain breaks the Black Knight's sword. In a bog.
And then they get to a knife.
And then, because he's a dick, he throws his sword away and says, we'll fight fairly with knives. Then they fight with the knives.
So, they get into a fucking knife fight in a bog.
And then the Black Knight's like, ha 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 ha, and takes up Gawain's sword. And then they're fighting, and then he somehow falls on a sword.
Yep.
And then you must take me to Leoness because I'm dying.
Yeah, take me back to my town because I'm fucking dying.
And then when they get to the town, it's a bleak looking place.
Yeah.
It's like, people!
Oh, this place looks like...
I'm dying! Yeah. And this bastard killed me! Kill him! So
this place looks like all hope has died here.
So he's chasing Gawain.
He does. He just says to the guards, chase this guy down. This guy's the one that fucked me up. Kill him. Like a sore fucking loser that he is.
And they're chasing Gawain. And then Gawain comes across a woman who just said, hey, here's a magic ring. Turns you invisible. Bye. And and at this point, we realize what this is. This is a D&D campaign. DM'd by an idiot.
No. It's one person. It's literally two people. One person's the DM, and the other one is the only existing player character.
Which is why
he literally straight zeros in every skill except for charisma. And he just fucks up constantly. But you know what? He's the only player in the game, so fucking he has to succeed.
He has to
somehow.
succeed, or the game's
otherwise
over.
There is no game. I was expecting this guy. This kid should have been dead before the Black Knight got to him. But somehow, he lives the entire movie!
He should have run into a tree and been brained by a low-hanging branch and died.
This kid should have...
No, he should have...
He should have died from an infection in his thumb or something. From, like, the first 10 minutes.
No, you know what he should have done in the blacksmithing scene? He should have tripped and fallen into the furnace and died.
At least he would have died with some dignity instead of going through all the bullshit that he doesn't need.
So he runs through, he's invisible, and then he meets up with the woman again, whose name is
Lyndon, something like that, yeah.
Lynette.
Lynette? Yeah, it was Lynette. And suddenly, he sees this woman again, and he's like, oh, I love this woman, of course.
And she loves him, and I've waited for you. I've always been waiting for you. I've always loved you.
And then Rita Repulsa shows up.
Who was the old knight's wife.
The knight's old looking.
We never get her name.
Looking of a wife.
We never get her name, so she's Rita Repulsa.
So she's Rita fucking Repulsa. She looks like Rita Repulsa.
And then it's like,
actually survived 1,000 years.
Because Lynette's trying to convince her, hey, maybe this new knight, since he beat the old knight in combat, maybe he could be the new guardian of Lyonesse. And
Rita Repulsa's like...
And then she sees him like, ooh, I think yes. And for this, what she basically says is, because I want to bang him.
Yeah, her old woman pussy gets fucking wet. And she's like, I want to bang this He-Man.
And then action scene happens.
And then an action scene shows up, which is like, why?
And then we see this guy.
He talked this older woman into fucking this kid.
And then we see this guy. We don't know his name, but he has this black robe and a candle, and we call him Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, he looks like the guy from the Can I Play with Madness music video from Iron Maiden.
He also looks like the Led Zeppelin. He looks a lot like the Led Zeppelin album, like the really famous Led Zeppelin album.
He looks like a heavy metal cover.
He's okay, you can pause this at any moment and have it look like a heavy metal cover. Hair metal.
Hair metal. A fucking hair metal concert. Like, just... This guy is a hair metal concert waiting to fucking happen.
And it turns out he's Lynette's father, and they execute Lynette. and Gawain, who's played by Miles O'Keefe, he fights in ridiculous ways. He throws a shield at someone, and he has clothes now. He has tight white pants, thigh-high boots, and a Prince Adam shirt.
He's essentially walking around dressed like Prince Adam.
He is He-Man.
He's He-Man. Exactly. And you know what? He does
some ridiculous fight, and then Castle's gone.
Yep.
It's just gone.
Yep. He just gets teleported to the middle of nowhere, to the sunless lands.
And then he comes across some monks and another monk who can talk.
Yep.
And like, hey, and then he gets pickpocketed by the monk, and then pickpockets the monk right back, and then they laugh about it, and that scene also looks like they're going to have sex, but they don't.
Yep.
And it's like, hey, is this place near Lyonesse? Instead of saying the obvious thing of nowhere's near Lyonesse, it doesn't fucking exist, it's, no one, this place isn't near anywhere.
Welcome to the Sunless Lands, motherfucker. This is where you ended up because you fucked around with God Man.
And then he goes to
This is all happening, by the way, because he tried to cut a godlike man's head off.
Yep.
This all started because he tried to cut Sean Connery. Oh no, he fucked with the DM too much.
And then he's not told about the seer. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go fight about the sage. And then he just decides to find the sage.
Yeah. So he's asking everybody he comes across. Every living creature.
There's this midget man.
Yeah, first
who's like, hey, are you the sage? And he's like, no, I'm not the sage. The sage is busy. Then he tries to, hold the sword. He's like, okay, maybe the sage isn't that busy.
It basically becomes the book, the thing is, Are You My Mommy? With the sage.
The first midget they find
is
actually credited in the script as Tiny Man.
The German's nickname for you is the little.
And then they find and then the midget brings him to the sage, who is another midget.
Indeed, yes.
And say, you're not playing the game. You see, with this ring, you're free from the game, and you weren't supposed to meet Lynette yet. You're playing the levels out of sequence or using cheats, you dick.
This old man, by the way, this like tiny little old man, by the way, I thought was an old woman at first. I thought she was like, he was a she.
Goatee.
Yeah, but, like, as soon as it asked for, like, as soon as the little person asked for, like, as soon as he asked for, what was it, like, a spit of
hedgehog spit.
Hedgehog spit, I thought it was just a witch. So I'm like, oh, fuck, it's a witch.
And then he gets randomly teleported to...
It happens a lot.
Somewhere.
It happens a lot in this movie. That
and then the Green Knight turns Morgan into a frog.
Yep.
Who can... A red talking frog. And then he's back in...
Not only is he a red talking frog, he's a red talking frog made out of clay.
She is. And then Gawain is teleported back to Lyonesse, but it's all dead. And Lynette is kind of too. He finds her in a tomb, and then he fights the Guardian again, because he's alive, but he hits him once and he explodes. Then he hits the frog, and the frog explodes.
Yep. Our hero, ladies and gentlemen.
And then he takes Lynette, puts her in a bed. I was like, I wonder how I can get... she's dead. I wonder if I can bring her back to life. So he takes the ring, puts it back on her finger, and she comes alive.
Essentially,
how did you describe this?
The way I describe this is he literally pulls the "Have you turned it off and turned it back on again?" solution with a human life,
and it worked. And then they get attacked by Oswald.
Yep. But
Sir Oswald, by the way.
Back to the part about him being nowhere, essentially. Yeah. Nowhere near anything. He's essentially on the West Island. I just wanted to, So, continue.
No offense to any viewers who live in the West Island.
It's okay. Montreal jokes.
Then he's, and then Sir Oswald attacks. He's this guy in like really shiny vac metalized looking red armor. He looks like an action figure from the 90s.
He looks like Zeus looked like in fucking Clash of the Titans.
I haven't seen it.
Like his armor is basically that fucking chrome now. But that was even CGI chrome. Like that was fucking computer generated chroming.
And then
his fucking armor was like shiny. Everybody's armor shines. You know
who Oswald is?
Yeah.
Oswald. If you've seen Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Gestapo guy, the guy whose face gets melted off.
Yep.
That's the only good film he's been in.
Yep.
Because other films are this shit and Red Sonja.
Yep. And
Poor
Red
man.
Sonja sucked.
Poor man.
Fucking ass. I know.
Gedrin, where are you? But that's not what we're talking about today, thank God.
Oh no. If you sit me down here and show me fucking Red Sonja one day, I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
I might show Nelson Red Sonja. I gotta show someone Red Sonja. Oh no, that means I'd have to watch Red Sonja, and I don't want to do that.
It's a double-edged sword! So...
And then Lynette gets kidnapped by Oswald.
Yep.
And then they go back to the castle, and then Peter Cushing's there.
Peter Cushing is there.
Which is sad for me, because he's a really good actor.
Yeah.
Peter Cushing is Grand Moff Tarkin, by the way.
Yeah.
And then Humphrey and Gawain manage to sneak into the castle by throwing mud. And
he basically tosses a cow pie at these two guards.
No, you toss it off to the side, and it's like in Manhunt or it's like in Manhunt or Last of Us when you throw a thing like, oh, what's that? But you don't see them do anything to that.
The way I saw it, that playing out in my head, is the guards have been patrolling for weeks on end with no sleep, rest, or like shelter or food. So basically, they throw a cow pie, which is just a pile of horse shit. And like across the fucking way, and they see this and they're like, "Oh, finally lunchtime."
It's disgusting.
It's gross.
It is,
but
really gross.
That's the way I see this playing out in my head.
And
Makes
so they're in the castle. Oswald wants to fuck Lynette,
of course.
Gawain beats Oswald in sword fighting, so he's thrown in the dungeon and tortured.
Yep.
And then he's freed by the monk.
Yep.
And then...
This is all basically...
And then the Oswald's father comes back, Baron Fortinbras, who's another depressing casting of John Rhys fucking Davies, who's a great actor.
That was sad as fuck.
And another knight shows up, then he argues with them about something.
Oh, is that the one that tries to rape the girl?
No, that's Oswald who tries to rape the girl.
Yeah.
And while Gawain's escaping, Oswald tries to rape the girl, and then our hero tries to save her, but the room's on fire.
Oh, yeah.
And
the worst rescue plan ever!
I'm gonna climb up to the barred window. Oh, look, my rope broke and I fell in the water.
The worst rescue plan ever.
But they do fight a pair of blacksmiths who have flaming swords.
He gets to the top of this prison, right? This castle that she's being held in. And he's on top of the roof. And his friend rides up with a crossbow and a rope. So he shoots the rope and the crossbow over the wall. Like, over the castle, like, the prison wall, basically.
He catches the bolt.
So he could catch it and then rappel down and save the girl through the window.
That's all what I saw. I didn't see the rope. You know, I saw him shooting the crossbow bolts and Gawain taking them. What I imagined was because it's this movie and I assumed it would have stupid ideas. Here, you need some crossbow bolts. Have some of mine. I was like, okay, thank you. I don't know.
He uses them as weapons. But, no, he ends up just getting on this rope, rappelling down to her window. At the same time, basically, Oswald goes into the girl's room and basically tries to molest her, knocks over a candle, and burns 3 people alive, including himself.
And then Gawain's all sad, and
then Gawain's, like, looking at this, and he's like, oh, well, that fucking happened.
And then afterwards, Gawain's
the rope gets cut.
And then Gawain's all depressed. And then it's like, oh, you guys go on, I'm gonna just wander around the land. So we see him wandering for a bit.
He gets dropped off a fucking, like, prison wall, though.
And then he
goes on, like, a fucking walk with, like, just shit armor.
No armor.
No armor at all.
And then he gets into a castle, which is
run
by the knight
movie.
Which is run by the knight from Before, with the cape knight.
A massive.
And then Lynette's alive because magic. Fuck you.
She gets resurrected about maybe once or twice more in this fucking movie.
Yeah.
She gets resurrected like basically 4 times.
And then this is the answer to, the burning room is apparently the answer to where life is darkness, fire.
Of course.
And then this place, because Lynette's there, but he can't have her, but we never are told why. And that's apparently the answer to where life is golden sorrow. And then it's like, hey,
convenient bullshit.
And then, hey, here, have some gold armor. And this magic, and this
the running joke of this fucking movie is he's just constantly losing his armor after the fight with the Black Knight, after the getting basically fucked over when he was trying to save the girl from the prison.
He has no armor there.
Yeah, exactly. He just constantly ends up with no armor and no weapons.
The thing is, it goes. People just keep giving him shit.
He just ends up
stuff he has done nothing to earn.
Yep. He just ends up in places
and get shit from people.
From, like, kings and stuff, tells him, look, I'm a knight. I'm trying to find my girlfriend. Can you give me anything you can give me will be of use.
And so he gets a suit of golden armor.
He just gets shit
and a sword and a lance.
Just give it. He never pays for a single thing. He never, tries to bargain. He's just fucking taking. He's just taking and fucking up.
Yeah.
Just constantly in a cycle of
and
fucking himself.
Now that he has the armor, Lynette gives him this green thing, which they don't explain, but it goes into detail in the book. By the way, nothing that's happened so far is in the poem
at all.
And she gives him this green thing, so he puts it around his arm on his armor, and then he's going into battle against King Oswald, Sir Oswald, randomly again.
Yes.
And then they fight, and Oswald has a half-burned face now. It's a big battle scene.
It's like the Nemesis system, where he gets a burn in his face, and now he thinks he's fucking boss material.
And there's another knight.
But he's still as shitty as he was before fighting.
And there's another knight. who Gawain has to fight. And he actually looks like a knight. He has actual realistic looking armor.
Yep.
But he somehow dies. He has armor that looks like it would be worth a damn.
Yep.
And then that battle is unremarkable, and
as is every other battle.
He kills Oswald.
Movie.
And then the Green Knight says like, "Oh yeah, so years passed somehow already, short year. No, the seasons didn't even fucking turn. Now let's go fight." And so they fight, and then He's like, okay, so Neil, I'm going to cut your head off now. He's like, okay. And he ties the girdle around his neck, and it looks funny because it looks like it has a tie.
He looks
and then
very
he swings
professional.
the axe, and the thing breaks off.
Yep.
They don't explain it. It's because the point of it, the girdle guards his neck because it's magic, but they don't ever bring that up in the movie.
Yep.
And then he stabs the Green Knight in his unarmored, come fuck me light, unarmored boss weakness chest.
The chest plate with the massive hole in it, he stabs him in the massive hole, where he has a bare chest.
Worst Dark Souls boss ever.
Literally, worst fucking opening
and then he dies,
ever.
And then his face collapses
This
inwards.
could have all been avoided had the kid been smart and realized, oh, he's asking people to cut his head off, but he's not addressing the fact that he has a giant fuck me hole in his chest.
Or, and I'll return the blow and turn, that thing as well. You know what I would have just done? Tap. just imagining his face of, okay, I'll return that blow and turn. Tap. Fucker.
And then you stab him.
And then the Green Knight just dies. He kind of melts.
Yep.
And then he goes and...
Sean
and then
Connery turns into fucking dust.
And his face collapses in.
And his face collapses
and
in.
Then
like he had too much sweet candy.
And sour candy.
Sour candy.
And then more shit happens.
Yep.
And then Lynette has to go back to Leoness, because of course she does. And then she turns into a bird. And the ring disappears in the water. And then the movie's over.
Essentially. Yep. Ends off in the shittiest fucking way.
And then we get the movie's awesome theme song. Bum bum ba da 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 da.
This movie sucks.
We had a theory about we had a theory about it.
We did.
The king was just fucking with him at the beginning.
Yeah,
because it's like, here, have this useless armor.
Yeah,
and then, like,
the kid probably expected the kid to have died.
The king goes to, like, gives the squire a bug.
Yeah,
here, let's send him off on his quest. Record everything he does here. I want a good laugh when he dies.
Yeah, and if he dies, at least bring me back my armor. So that way, like...
So I can put it up and display it.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
Room,
just robe him once he's dead, and just bring me back my armor. So that way I'm not actually losing out on anything. But no! Somehow this kid survives!
He survives. He fucks him. At one point, he grabs a sword by the wrong end and whacks a fucker in the face with it.
I'm telling you, like, it's just... He let... The DM of this D&D campaign, because that's basically what this was... Just let them get away with... Well, let him get away with so much bullshit.
So, what are your thoughts on the movie?
Oh, it was a fucking experience and a half. I swear to God, this movie just fucking... God damn. Like, it's just... It's a slog and a half. It was a long fucking sit.
And all the powers that about the whole D&D thing it has. All the powers that the Green Knight has. He's invincible. He's like a level 20 wizard and a level 20 fighter.
Yeah, he calls himself the Green Knight.
But he has
even though
powers.
he's essentially like a fucking paladin or a wizard. So it's like
it's just he's the DM's player character from another campaign that wants to make something really cool.
This entire movie is basically
we've all done
level
a really bad
a level
campaign.
0 like autistic fucking kid who's supposed to be like who's supposed to be doing good, you know, is just fucking up left and right.
Yeah, he's doing
and
good.
He's fighting.
But this is
trying to kill a god man.
He's doing good. He's supposedly doing good, but his first thought upon seeing a unicorn is, I'm gonna eat that.
I'm gonna eat the unicorn. I'm gonna pull out a mace during fight. I'm not gonna let go of this mace.
If there are witches there, I want to do them.
I'm gonna rappel down this wall. I'm gonna let my love of my life get possibly raped and set on fire in this prison.
About the He-Man thing, though, he rarely uses a sword, just like He-Man. He'll grab a chandelier and swing kick someone. He'll throw a shield.
The worst part of this is, like, at least if he had, like, a sword or, like, a similar build to He-Man, and, like, at least tried to fight.
At least if he had a similar build to He-Man, we'd have a decent... We'd
have a hero.
We'd have an interesting Conan
We'd have an
ripoff.
interesting one, yeah.
Yeah, because, to be honest, that's what most fantasy movies in the 80s were.
Basically.
Hawk the Slayer.
Yep.
Krull.
And in this one, he's completely fucking unremarkable. Beastmaster. Blade Master was fun, though. I enjoyed him in Blade Master. Blade Master's another fucking movie we need to watch, though, probably one day.
Yeah.
But I don't want to, because, oh my god, fucking Blade Master. My head almost fucking exploded the first time I watched Blade Master. Fuck.
If you had to give this a score, it doesn't have to be stars. It can be anything out of anything. What would you give it?
I'd give it 1 XP out of a possible level up. And I'd give him a copper piece and an axe. And I'd hire a man to take the axe from him and cut his fucking head off and just have ended the movie at the beginning.
I'd give it 3 magic rings out of a clay frog.
So that's a good thing.
No.
Take it. I had fun watching this. For as shit as it was, I had fun.
This is the 3rd or 4th time I've seen this shit.
This is the first time I've ever seen it. My god, it was fucking...
This taught me my lesson about impulse buying.
My head hurts. How long have we been going for? 36 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. This is a short Mindbreakers.
Yeah, there's not a lot to talk about in this fucking movie.
This is a fucking...
It's long, but nothing really happens.
It's a fucking... What it is essentially, it's like have you ever popped popcorn? Popped corn on the oven?
Yeah.
Like, on the stovetop? It's like that. It bubbles up and everything. You're like, oh yeah, popcorn. You poke a hole in it, and there's like 4 or 5 kernels in it.
Oh, you mean Jiffy Pop?
Yeah, basically. And it's like, it's all been inflated. But there's like maybe 6 or 7 kernels, and then like the rest of them are like mostly burnt. And then like there's like a massive empty hole just in the center where there should be popcorn, but there's not.
Except the popcorn is interesting scenes.
Yeah, and the popcorn is... Like, the burnt popcorn stands for just all of the shitty, just stupid fucking cliched bullshit that they shoved in this movie. And the unburnt popcorns are, like, the decent, like, scenes and laughs. And original ideas this movie kind of had, somewhat.
It
could have gone somewhere.
It had original ideas, but the original ideas were stupid, like opening up the crotch of the armor with a frickin' spam key. It's like a key for a can of tuna.
Yeah. It's a fucking empty, soulless movie, but it's the type of bad soulless that you could sit down with a friend and laugh at. Because it's just so fucking ridiculous.
Would you recommend people watch it?
I'd say grab a friend.
Not alone. Do not watch this movie alone.
And don't watch this movie alone. You're not gonna make it to the end. You're gonna fall asleep, if anything. It's fucking terrible. Like, grab a friend. Well, grab friends. Grab some whatever you want. Alcohol. Some chips. And just sit down and fucking go nuts.
Get high, I recommend.
Whatever you want.
Definitely get high to watch this movie.
Go ahead. Do whatever you wish. Like, that's for you. Pick your poison, guys. This fucking movie is just... You're in for a show.
So, your final thoughts before we close this off, Gio?
Starting shit in the Middle Ages leads to the worst shit possible in the Middle Ages.
Ba da 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 da. Da 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 da.
I shall repay the blow in kind.
Da da da. Get your skis shined up. Grab a stick of juicy fruit. The taste is gonna move you. Take a stick. Whip it out. The taste is gonna move you when you pop it in your mouth.